What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is the D to the L to the N, the DL in sports, and this is the cash line. I want to thank everybody for tuning back in. Having a good week, man. Having a good week. Them WNBA and them ML picks been going, man. People been really been jumping on there. Uh, Shout out to the DFS community, the Twitter world, the YouTube world. One of my dudes on Twitter woke up this morning, started my day out right, man. Woke up this morning with a nice little tip on my PayPal from one of my dudes from the Twitter. Uh, he wasn't gonna play that Colorado stack. Been getting burned on it all week. Me too. But I told him, I was like, man, that park gonna blow. Best hitting park in baseball. It's gonna blow eventually. The whole ballpark gonna blow up, and it blew up last night. It blew up last night, 18-4. Colorado beat the Padres. Arenado had three home runs. Blackman went off. The whole team went off, really. The whole team went off. And so shout out to you, man. Appreciate that tip. Started my day off right. Shout out to my boy Black Smoke. Just jumped back in. Said he was going to wait till the NFL started. Jumped in on WNBA. First night at it. Banged him. You know what I'm saying? Banged him. It's on the private play. He posted it on the private Facebook page. Shout out to my boy D4. Been chopping it up in the group and putting some good lines in and helping people with some picks and things like that. But today y'all, we going to them Cincinnati Bengals. It's the Cincinnati Bengals team preview. They went 6-9 last year. Still got that coach Marvin Lewis, who's a good coach, but he just can't get him over that hump. He's been there forever, man, but just can't get him over that hump. So we're gonna have to see how that pan out this year. Now with the Cincinnati Bengals, round one, pick number 9, they took John Ross, who's a wide receiver out of Washington. Uh, Good wide receiver. Gonna put him on the other side of the AJ Green and see how we're gonna do. But like we said, we got to see how that pan out with them rookies. He has some health concerns, but he's a good wide receiver. So it just depends on if he can stay healthy. Now round two, pick 16, they took Joe Mixon, and that's that running back out of Oklahoma, and he is the real deal because they've been struggling at the running back with Jeremy Hill and Giovanni Bernard for the past couple years. Serviceable running backs, but nobody that's gonna change the game. But that Joe Mixon, man, that running back out of Oklahoma, that's a good pick. They got them a baller right there. I watched a lot of Oklahoma's games last year, and Joe Mixon, he's the real deal. Now, round three, pick number 9, they went with Jordan Willis, linebacker out of Kansas State. Uh, not really too familiar with him. Read up on him a little bit. He's a sack monster. Gets to the quarterback. So, like I said, we got to see how that pan out. So the positions for the Cincinnati Bengals this year, y'all, we got to find out where that fantasy value going to be. At quarterback, they got that Andy Dalton, who's a good quarterback, top tier quarterback. He's probably a tier down from the Brady's and the Breezes and the Cam Newtons and things like that. But Andy Dalton's a good quarterback, and he's a good fantasy quarterback. He puts up good stats and good numbers. I played him a couple times last year. Probably didn't play him as much as I should have, but he's a good quarterback. Now at the running back, you got that Giovanni Bernard and that Jeremy Hill, but like I said, they just brought in that Joe Mixon, and I think it's going to be his show. I think it's going to be his show as far as that running back division goes, because he speedster. Once he gets out and going, he could take it to the house. He could take it to the house, and that's the difference between him, Hill, and Bernard. Joe Mixon is capable of taking it to the house. Now, wide receiver, they got that AJ Green. Now he's top tier. He ain't second tier. He's top tier. He's one of the best receivers in the league, probably top 5. You know what I'm saying? And we're putting that John Ross on the other side. They can't really double him as much and shade that safety over there as much, because if they do, that John Ross will take it. He can go over the top. So they can't really shade them safeties like they was last year, shading that safety all the way over to AJ Green. So that's going to loosen up AJ Green a little bit. Now at the tight end position, they got that Tyler Eifert. That's a stack ready to happen, y'all. That's a stack ready to happen. Andy Dalton, Tyler Eifert, and AJ Green. You know what I mean? That's a stack waiting to happen. If you get them boys against a bad defense, especially a defense coming into their house, that's a stack you can play all day. You know what I'm saying? You can play it all day. Now on the defense, they got that Vontez Burfict, always getting suspended for late hits and stuff like that. But he's an aggressive player, and he's a hard hitter. And if you come across that middle, plan on being hit. And he's the real deal. He don't care nothing about no fine. He don't care nothing about no suspension. If you come around across that middle, he gonna try to take your head off, and does it consistently. They got that Dre Kirkpatrick at your corner and things like that. So their defense has always been good. Maybe not great, but it's always been good, and it's a defense you can play, especially when they're at home. Like I said in the cash line here, we play defenses at home. I believe in that narrative. I believe in that crowd hollering. I believe in that family being in the stands. That people give that little bit of extra. And statistically, if you overlook it, most defenses do play better at home. Now in that division, this is my division because I'm a Browns fan. It's rough, it's hard, but this is my division, and we take last all the time with pride. You know what I mean? But Cincinnati went 6-9 last year. Pittsburgh 11-5. Baltimore 8-8, and the Browns was 1-15. But that's how we got the first pick. But we're always getting first picks. But I'm not even gonna get into the Browns thing. I don't want to get all upset. I'm having a good day. So my baller, my shot caller, my slate changer, y'all, for the Cincinnati Bengals is gonna be all three of them. That Andy Dalton, AJ Green, Tyler Eifert stack, and I'm doing it all year. If I catch the right defense coming into Cincinnati, I'm gonna bang them with that Cincinnati stack, or at least try to. You know what I'm saying? This is fantasy; anything can happen. Ain't nothing guaranteed. But consistently, if you play that throughout the season in the right matchups, you should come out on top more than the bottom. Now my butt squeaker for the Cincinnati Bengals is going to be Joe Mixon, y'all. That running back, I'm looking for him to have a good year. They're probably going to end up getting rid of one of them other running backs. You know what I mean? Probably waiting to see him get in training camp and see how he do. But I think they're going to probably get rid of one of them quarterbacks, either Hill or Bernard. Now Hill and Bernard, I played both of them a little bit last year, but it's so hard to pick. You'll pick Hill and Bernard to go off, and you'll pick Bernard and then Hill will go off. So that's that monster you don't really want to deal with because it's hard to pick which one going to go off that night. Now my maggot of the year for these Cincinnati Bengals is going to be that offensive line. I don't even really see too much that they did to it. They didn't really add too much to it, but you know what I mean? Serviceable offensive line. But I like their defense. I like the offensive spots they got. So probably the weakest spot on their team is their offensive line, and they got to see if they can protect Andy Dalton. So like I said, man, putting them WNBA picks and them MLB picks in the private page in a little while here. If you want to jump on that, just Facebook me, Dan Nicholson. Throw you in that private page, the cash line, and you'll see how we get down, man. It's picking up now, but when that NFL start, man, it's gonna be bananas. It's gonna be bananas, and y'all gonna see it. Y'all gonna see it. But like I said, shout out to the DFS community, man. Shout out to my Twitter followers, YouTube subscribers, and things like that. Appreciate the love. And I told y'all, man, that Colorado ballpark was going to blow up eventually. Now, it might not blow again for another week, or it might blow the next time they're at home. You know what I'm saying? But I'm playing it. I'm playing it. When Colorado is at home, I'm playing it. And a lot of times it burns you. So don't get me twisted. Just because they're at home don't mean you're gonna go. Because I played it all last week and it somewhat burned me. But when that ballpark does explode, it explodes. Please believe it. Like I said, man, shout out to my dudes. Appreciate that. And like I say, man, let's get to that money. And I'll be doing another NFL podcast here in another day or two with the next team. I ain't really looked at what the next team is going to be. It's like the 23rd ranked power team. So appreciate all the love, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. And let's get to that money, y'all. Cash line, baby.